The Last Sunset Chapter 1. Paradise Found. Sarah Matthews stood on the deck of her overwater bungalow at Malachi Beach Resort, watching her savings account notification fade from her phone screen. 2 years of overtime shifts had culminated in this moment. Her dream vacation in the South Pacific. The water below was so clear she could count the coral formations, their shapes oddly geometric for natural formations. A resort staff member, Kaya, had been explaining the amenities, but her voice trailed off as the clock struck 6:43 p.m. "Miss Matthews, please, inside before sunset," Kaya insisted, her practiced hospitality cracking to reveal genuine fear. Before Sarah could protest, the sky erupted in a shade of red she'd never seen before, deep and visceral. Like arterial spray, the water reflected the crimson light, transforming the pristine lagoon into what looked like a massive wound in the earth. The strange sunset was just the beginning. Sarah's second day brought whispers from the staff about the VURU, ancient entities that had granted the islands their beauty in exchange for periodic tribute. "They hunger for more than fish now," an elderly gardener told her, pressing a charm made of black coral into her palm before shuffling away. That night, Sarah woke to singing, a haunting melody that seemed to come from beneath the waves. The water under her bungalow glowed with bioluminescence, but the lights moved with too much purpose, forming patterns that looked unsettlingly like written language. Her phone's screen showed the same. Time, 6:43 p.m. But that was impossible. It had been past midnight when she'd fallen asleep. The Last Sunset Chapter 2. The Others. During breakfast, Sarah met other guests, all first-timers like her, all drawn by suspiciously low rates. James Chun, a travel photographer, showed her pictures he'd taken of the sunset. In each photo, dark shapes hovered just beneath the water's surface, their forms suggesting human figures with too many limbs. "The weird thing is," James said, "I've got pictures of the same people by the pool from 3 different years. They haven't aged a day." That afternoon, James went snorkeling. He never came back. The staff seemed unsurprised, simply removing his luggage from his room as if he'd checked out normally. Sarah found his camera floating by her bungalow, its memory card filled with underwater photos of what looked like an inverted city, built downward into the depths. The resort's Wi-Fi failed first, then the phones. Sarah watched helplessly as boats approaching the resort mysteriously lost power, drifting back to the mainland. The sunsets came earlier each day, the blood-red sky claiming more hours. In the growing darkness, she began to see them. The VURU. They rose from the water like liquid mercury given form, their bodies flowing between shapes that hurt her eyes to look at. In her desperate research before the internet died, Sarah had found fragments of truth in ancient maritime records. Malachi wasn't just a resort. It was built on a site where island kings once offered sacrifices to the deep. The VURU had been dormant for centuries, until modern construction broke the sacred seals keeping them contained. The Last Sunset Chapter 3. The Final Sunset. Now Sarah stands on her balcony, watching another impossible sunset paint the world in shades of blood. The water moves against gravity, forming bridges between bungalows where the remaining guests huddle together. They've learned the truth too late. The resort isn't just a vacation destination. It's a feeding ground. The VURU rise now, their fluid forms solidifying just enough to be almost comprehensible. They offer a choice. Join them in their eternal sunset realm or face a darker fate in the depths below. Sarah looks at her fellow guests, their faces illuminated by the crimson light. One by one, they step into the waiting arms of the entities, their forms dissolving like sugar in water. Sarah takes one last look at her phone. 6:43 p.m., just like always. Then she steps forward, becoming one with the endless sunset. Another guardian of this false paradise. Another voice warning visitors to leave before the sun bleeds into the sea.